Joseph, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Let's get a proper cup in. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's right. Here we go. Little sip to start.
Oh. Ooh,
Still sticking with all the black coffee, man. That's it. It's so much more efficient. I don't have to sit there and mix all the stuff and look at it and just pour it and go. That's it, man.
I got a little sweetened creamer in there. You know
Did you? Is it? I feel like now, like I was gonna ask you if it was pumpkin spice, but now I feel like that's even like. But you gotta have like three things and pumpkin spice. Like, it doesn't have to be like, what am I thinking of here? A little bit of allspice, cumin, pumpkin spice cheesecake.
I don't do that. I just pour in whatever pre-made creamer there is in my refrigerator.
Good
Today it's caramel macchiato.
Oh, well, okay. You can't be like, no, I just pour whatever it is. And then be like, well, now it's caramel macchiato. It's got 8 syllables, Joe. It's not just what is in there, okay?
Is that 8 syllables? Did you count them?
No, but I bet it's close. I'm not going to. That's 7. Okay. So, all right. I guess you make the under then from my proclamation. There we go. Good morning, audience. How are you guys today? If you haven't been here before, this is a neat little concept where I raise reptiles as a living, and like yourself,
I don't.
Yeah, Joe has many questions about such decisions, and we talk about those decisions in life and have a little fun Thursday mornings with our coffee.
My first question: are you crazy? That was my first question. When Adam told me about his endeavors.
I'll tell you what I remember your first question being is, what is the poop like, is what I believe is exactly what you asked me. Maybe that was on the first tour. Maybe that's what that was.
Because it was pungent.
Well, and then we took a little look and you were taken aback by...
Ooh, I'll never forget that smell, boy. Oh, my goodness.
But for the record, that's not how it always. It was just you caught it at the right time, like the
right time.
Well, it dissipates,
right.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like I got it at the wrong time.
Well, but I mean, you've been in this very house, which sits above this very facility. There wasn't poo stink up top.
Oh no. And it wasn't like even when it was there, like you had it like cordoned off in your your garage, right?
That was in Jacksonville. Yeah, I had a facility in the garage. Yeah.
So So how was your week, man? What'd you do?
A little bit of everything. I was catching up this week. This is definitely one of those weeks I look back and I'm like, what did I accomplish? But I accomplished a lot. It was still coming out of Tinley, getting everything up to date, and then I think I mentioned I picked up I've tripled my rodent production in the past 10 days on my rodent inventory, my stock. I bought a bunch of stock to breed and continue to improve the production. So there's been some figuring out new processes, realizing that triple the animals is going to take triple. I'm trying to I don't want it to be triple the work. A good process, you should be able to get better results without actually, 1-to-1 tripling. So today I get to irrigate about 50 colonies of one of the things that I hate is filling water bottles. They have to fill these water bottles every day, and they don't drink them at the same pace. So you got to check all the water bottles and you got to fill them and you got to put them back. And then you're like, man, did I miss that water bottle or not? And it's a daily time suck. So I ordered all the equipment. Today is when they all get irrigated and automated. And that
means in there across their enclosure, you run a line that's like pressure based, right? So they take the water and then water keeps coming, right?
That's right. Yeah, it'll be pressurized irrigation lines. And it's one of the few times where it's appropriate just to yell nipple. You have these water nipples that they activate and water comes out of them.
And you told me when I was there, you told me that flooding can be an issue sometimes. How does that work?
Yeah, so it actually plays into Justin's question. So you could do the science is the same. If you've seen water towers in towns and townships and cities, you have this big pressure, you have this big amount of water elevated in the air, and that pushes and pressurizes the city water. So that gets repumped and refilled. But in the rodent facility, you would have like a 5-gallon bucket up top, and then that would pressurize the water lines. But you still have to fill the 5-gallon bucket, and you can, rodent and reptile breeding is like gateway to engineering is really what it is, because people hook up float valves like they have in the toilet, where like if the water level gets too low, it turns on the pressure and then it fills the water tub, the bucket back up. I actually have gone straight to just pressurized lines direct. There's you get a pressure reducer basically that makes it so that the lines don't explode, but you never have to worry about a float valve or turning things on or off. But the problem what you bring up, Joe, is that if a nipple malfunctions or gets pulled off by the rodents, the water is going to flow unfettered, which leads to floods. And then obviously there's a lid on the enclosure, and they can drown. That in the year that I've been there, that's only happened once, and it doesn't. The physics of it don't really make me. The whole thing isn't going to flood. One tub is going to flood, and then it overflows down. So it's sort of like it trickles down, and it's not like a raging just push. It's faster than a drip, but it's also not just a crazy volume. So you have to you do have to keep an eye on it, and you have to check your equipment. But it's not it's not a common issue. And maybe I just got my setup good, and knock on wood that I'm not cursing myself right now. But I use the pressurized lines.
Are there multiple nipples inside the enclosure? I've never thought that would that sentence would come out of my mouth, but
depending on the enclosure, yes. So some tubs have 4, 1 male and 3 female breeders, and then the babies, those get 1 nipple. But then there's like grow out tubs that I have 2 nipples in there, so that there's water for everybody.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
What about the one thing that you need to bring up? You need to really bring it up.
This is the big. I'm heading into the big crescendo for my past, I don't know, 40 days or 50 or 60 days or something. So tomorrow morning I head to Fargo. I'll vend in Fargo on Saturday. Then I travel back home, and Fargo is 4 hours without stops. So it's really going to be 4.5 hours is what it's going to take. So that's a long trip. I come home Saturday night from Fargo. Then Sunday morning here in Minneapolis, I go back out and I vend in Minneapolis. So that's the first leg.
Okay.
Then a week from tonight is the Rocky Horror Picture Show gig that I signed up for, where we're going to play the movie soundtrack live from start to finish and do like radio style.
That's October 30th.
That's right. That's on Halloween Eve. And then that Saturday, I head down to Des Moines for a show on Sunday morning in Des Moines. And then I just take a big nap. Then I'm just done for a while.
No other shows. This is like the end of the shows for the year.
There'll be one more in December. Yeah. So that one in Des Moines is actually in November. So I have one in November and one in December, and that'll be it.
We're getting to the end. I mean, we've finished out the third quarter. We're getting to the end. We got a 2.5 months to the end of the year. You have a good year.
It still could be. I have this weird thing where my really like high rent, high dollar snakes are just now starting to hatch or just on the horizon around the corner. So they actually will be ready in December. And so there's a possibility these 3 shows will make a big difference. And then seeing what December shows are like with those higher dollar snakes. I don't think that I'll do what I did last year. This will be my first down year, which is, I guess it was inevitable. I had a good stretch of just, 100, 150% increases year over year. This year was a little bit slower. So, and I guess that they'll come, but I really need to look back once I get through the stretch of shows and see what did I do different that usually you would start with saying that worked, but maybe this year I need to look at what didn't work or what opportunities did I miss or what went wrong. But there was a lot going on this year too, man. I was, I've done,
you moved into,
I've done a little bit.
Facility.
Yeah.
You've done a little bit.
A little bit. So it's still a good year. It's still a lot more than if you had told me I'd be doing that 5 years ago, I would have kind of laughed and been like, yeah, slow down. We're not going to be there yet. So it's still a good year. It's still profitable. And, like I said, like you were saying, the new facility is underway. And I'm learning today is a new low temperature that the facility has experienced on the outside. So I have to keep an eye on.
Yeah. That's right.
I haven't gone through the winter in the new facility yet with the animals. So that's things that I'm looking at as well. Keep an eye on.
Okay. So you have this, and then you also have consulting and, but with this, how nervous do you get? Do you ever get nervous? Or terrified, or is it really working, or do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, I do, but it's less now. To be honest, I sort of know what to expect from this. I am still obviously building, so I haven't achieved what I want to expect, so to speak. If that makes sense. I kind of know where I feel like the ups and downs of that. Where I get nervous is I really just have one main client consulting, and that's such an important part of my sort of business ecosystem.
Yeah.
And a year ago now, I'm so thankful and happy that this amount of time has gone by and that we're all still working together. But when Helene went through North Carolina and just ravaged the area, I mean, literally washed away towns into our town's lake, which meant that the lake had to go, Rumbling Bald in North Carolina, Lake Lure. There was a few days where, not a few days, a few weeks where I didn't know if that client was going to keep me. I didn't know if their business was going to exist, et cetera. And they've done great. They've come through it and they've recovered and actually back to full throttle. So 2026 should be a little bit of a better year from, like I say, kind of the big ecosystem and not putting all the capital investments into a new facility. 2026 should be kind of the ideal year. I don't know how revenues will be and how the market will be, but as far as my expense side, it should be a really good year.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. That's great. Well, cool, man. That's sounds good. Sounds like you got a busy few weeks coming up.
Yeah, a couple more, man, for sure. What do you got going on for your one thing, man?
Well, I was, I don't know. The thing that's really sticking out in my mind is I started to watch this documentary series that came out about Martin Scorsese.
Oh, really?
Okay. I don't know if anybody in the chat is a big movie fan or whatever.
I have to say, I don't care we joke a lot. I don't sit and watch many movies, but I do usually make an effort to watch Scorsese films when they come out. So I'm not fully up to speed on all of them, but I do enjoy some Scorsese.
I love, and I don't know, documentaries haven't been that great in the past 5 to 10 years. I don't know, it's been one or two that have been pretty good. And then they do this docu-series that really stretches it out. But I'm really, really enjoying it because it's like this. It reminds me of all the films that I really, really like.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. that I really, and I've kind of forgotten about, and you kind of watch it, but I really like just watching a guy who's passionate about what he's doing, and it, like, almost everything just kind of falls away when he's doing a project. Like, even like his family and his wife, like, he's been married like a few times, and he just puts everything into making these movies. Now, but what has struck me though is there's they interview various directors, and like when they're interviewing these directors, they're all talking about how great he is at his thing. And there's one that sticks out to me is like Steven Spielberg, right? So everybody knows Spielberg, and he has all these movies that everybody loves, and he describes seeing Raging Bull in 1980, and he's saying, I saw that, and it changed who I was.
Whoa.
He said, like, I didn't want to talk I didn't want to talk to anybody after I saw it. Like, I can't describe like the feeling that I had after seeing this movie. Now, I don't know that, like, I don't know if a movie has ever done that for me, but I've had those. I think you experience certain things. Like, I was talking about this last night in my religion class, like an experience, like a spiritual experience where you experience something and it changes you in a certain way, or it makes you think differently, or you don't know how to describe it, and it's visited upon you, and it changes the way you think. And it was just interesting to go, I'm talking about this in class, and then to see somebody use those qualities of what a religious experience is in talking about seeing a movie.
Right.
So it makes me go, okay, well, those types of experiences, they shouldn't be confined to what we define as religion. Like some experience of the divine, or, we're out in nature, so we feel connected to the earth. It should be about it. Like, those experiences can happen just in the field that you're in, the thing that you're passionate about, the thing. So it makes me wonder, like I'm always in search. I'm always like restless. I'm always in search of the thing that I'm going to do next.
Can you share like an example of where this has like hit you before, like where you've had that moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. That's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, I don't know if I have found the thing.
Oh, really?
that would make me go, that, like, for Spielberg, it's making movies, and then seeing somebody else do that.
Yeah.
And going, incredible. That is an experience. And I'm not really too sure if I have found the thing that makes me go, wow, that person really did it. And it's in my wheelhouse, and it makes me, now I've experienced certain art and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, they're kind of silly. Do you have any idea of what I'm talking about here?
Yeah. So a couple, like one in particular comes to mind, and I don't know why. And these things sort of sound cheesy, but like, that's the whole thing of, like, again, not to put it in the box of religion, but where, like, the unexplainable happens, and it happened to you, but other people might not get it, kind of deal. Troy, he's saying reverse osmosis. That's RO. But so I'm sure that people like eye roll this or whatever, but I've only seen Bruce Springsteen once in concert, but it was like a revival.
Yes.
but not for, God or church. It was that experience.
Yeah.
Just like this communal, I still get chills talking about it, this communal rock and roll thing. And I can't explain it. I can't, there was no opening band. There was no pyrotechnics and lasers.
Yeah.
And actually, I even had seats behind the stage, which is a really weird. I was annoyed by that, but it was one of those things, like if you allowed yourself to participate and just enjoy the moment, at the end of it, man, I was exhausted. I'd gone through a range of emotions. There's a song called Thunder Road that I didn't realize felt like it clicked so much with me in my life and those lyrics kind of deal and the story. And that made me pretty emotional and all of that. So that was one of them. And believe it or not, also I can remember being 17 and seeing Social Distortion for the first time, going, for whatever reason at 17, nothing made sense. I think that's everybody's 17-year-old experience, but mine felt magnified, which I know everybody's feels magnified. But for me, there was a moment of clarity where holy smokes, this band in this moment, it made sense. I loved their swagger, their stage presence. They were playing rock and roll, but it was different. They actually opened with a Stones cover that they made completely their own, and nobody in the crowd knew that it was a Stones cover, but I knew it, and it felt like it was. I was like, I'd never heard of them,
It was for you.
Yeah, it was for me, kind of deal, and it was just it was cool. And there's moments like that, or those two stick to my mind. There's also times when I probably have literally allowed myself to get hypnotized or mesmerized when I'm fly fishing in the mountains, man, in North Carolina, standing in the current. There's definitely been moments where I look up and I'm like, how much time has gone on? And I'll look up at the sky and everything is kind of, because I just gotten so in tune with the flow of the river and just 100% dialed in, man. I like those experiences, man. They don't happen a whole lot, but I do like them.
Yeah. And I think I'm chasing them. I think I'm looking for them. I think I've had them, but I'm chasing them. And I'm wondering, is that necessary to chase them? Is it I'm looking for something that I want to do in my life, and I like teaching. I like bringing people together and talking about things. But I don't know if I have those experiences professionally the way that somebody like Steven Spielberg would watch a movie and go, wow, this is a spiritual experience that changes my life, and I don't want to talk to anybody about it. You know what I mean? It makes me wonder. I've had those experiences where you feel connected and you feel, and it is a spiritual, religious experience, just not professionally. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, Joe. Neither of us are Springsteen, Scorsese, or Spielberg. Okay, there's a reason they have the documentaries about them and we don't.
Right?
But I think they could be found on our own scale and our own experience. But secondly, when you say is it worth chasing? What's the alternative? Sit on your couch and hope that it arrives.
It just happens.
You of course you have to go chase it, man. That's
right.
I love thinking about okay, well, even when sales are slow or something, I'm like, I'm just it's just another slow weekend. Well, what have I done about it, Adam? Why don't you place some ads, do some marketing, share some excitement of why these animals are special, blah, blah, blah. So I think you have to chase it, man.
So have you experienced that in the snake industry? Not a spiritual experience. Let's not put it that high. But have you ever witnessed something that made you go, in this industry, that made you go, wow, that person really is doing something incredibly special, and I'm going to rethink because of what I'm witnessing here?
Yeah, there's been, and it sounds crazy. There's a few easy answers where it's my friends saw something that they had worked really hard for come to fruition. So, an industry recognized, Joe at JSA, he's got this, I think it's a Pompeii special or some incredible combo that he's just worked years at being able to actually produce. And that's incredibly cool to see and very fun to see. And then there's other friends that, they make their, they get a 5-figure sale and you're happy for them and you high five them and all. But there's also like really cool things where you just forget. And it's almost cool to be reminded. So like, it just happens that Justin from Pressure Pythons is here in the audience. Like, I can remember meeting Justin for the very first time and how like ridiculously excited he and his wife, and he had one other buddy with him at this expo, and they were just like, they were like overwhelmed and excited, like a kid at an amusement park, like when the kid's like, I want to do everything. And you're like, you can't do everything right now. And they're like, we're going to. And they're like, okay, fine, go do everything. But I think I could share this. It's not that private, but yeah, Justin messaged me, I don't know, a month or so ago. And he was like, hey, that hatchling that I bought from you 3 years ago that you hatched just laid eggs for me, kind of deal. And you're like, oh, dang, that's pretty cool, kind of thing. And so you get this moment of like all this good memories wrapped into one little story, or people that have been. I get this weird thing like when, and I'm fortunate, but when somebody that I really look up to for no good reason takes a hell of a lot of time with me. Like, I don't spend massive amounts of money or much at all sometimes. And there's been like real like icons that have really just given me extra attention or tour or welcome me into their homes or had coffee, where I'm just blown away. And you get to just sit there and pick the brain or really connect. We're not even talking about snakes. You talk about food or music or travel or life experiences or the world before we got into breeding. And so that's been really fortunate. And then on the flip side, like I normally wouldn't talk specifics about like children, but she has her own YouTube channel. There's a young girl named Riley's Reptile Room, and she was at Tinley filming. And I'm like, man, this girl's got it, man. She's whatever she's going to do. And I hope for her benefit, she tries out 15 different things before she figures out what she's going to do. But you just see it where you're like, man, this little one's got she's got it kind of thing. And she was nice enough to spend some time filming with me at Tinley. And I've gotten some messages from people that are like, hey, you're in Riley's video. I'm like, I know, how cool was this? So like all of those things. And I like keeping that machine going. Like what, hopefully everything I receive, I pass on, many times.
Apparently, yes, you do pass it on, and that's like those experiences that you have affect the way that you do something, and witnessing those things is affecting the way that you're doing your thing. I mean, that's the kind of like those are the kinds of experiences that will make an industry great. I think is that you're looking at your peers, and instead of seeing them as competitors, you are inspired by them. You go, wow, that is incredible what they have done. And it's now making me think about the things that I want to do differently. I think that not all industries have that or are like that. But and I think that, that changes what the industry is if you start to view yourself as a community that are doing things together. We're trying to produce something together, as opposed to we're working against each other and I need to sabotage my competitors.
That actually might be like a good show to do sometime. Like the really basic outlook is like the zero-sum game. There's only X amount of money in a space, and anybody else in that space is taking money from me, versus going, this is such a niche thing. We could just make the space bigger, and we could be the resources and the people that get looked up to, and we could be the ones that set the standard. And looking at things that way has so much more opportunity. I remember I used to just get like so not resentful, but frustrated. I would spend so much time like coaching, developing, growing a manager or a leader or a professional in my industry. And then they would be like, hey, I took this other job over here. And it would drive me bonkers. And then I started to like take pride that I could look around literally the country, but the industry, and see people that had almost like the analogy I think of is like the sports coaching tree that we all, Saban or Andy Reid or whoever it might be. But what I found was that over time, those were men and women that I could call and say, hey, I'm looking for this, or what do you think about this? Or you're doing this concept, I'm looking to do this concept. And I had this just library and network. I don't mind the word network, but it gets overplayed. But I had these resources that the connections ran so much deeper because we had spent that time together working, growing, becoming who we were going to become. Other jobs are inevitable. Like nobody stays at one job. Nobody, and even if they do, it's great. But the whole world can't stay at one job. There's going to be competition. So what am I going to spend my life like infuriated that somebody else breeds ball pythons? Like that's proprietary. So I may as well work with the best ones. Is really what I've come to conclude.
I think I'm like my initial thoughts about this, I was kind of melding what I do with what I was seeing in this documentary, especially Steven Spielberg and what he said about Scorsese or whatever. And I was going, okay, it seems like a religious experience for him. And I think I'm putting too much pressure on these experiences. I think what would be great for the industry is that they're all in that industry. They're inspiring each other. They're looking at each other's work, and they're constantly consuming each other's work, and then saying, "How is that? Is that inspirational to me? And it's going to inspire me to do better work." Like, find the industry and do this for your industry that you're in. Try to find the inspirations, but also inspire other people. I mean, that's how an industry can grow and grow and grow. I think is really, really looking around and going, what is it that brings me to a place where I am inspired, and let me try and put that out there as well.
Yeah, I think that the results of it are. I think there's one path where you could be. I'll be honest, I sort of straddle both of these paths. You could be a sole island and go, I just do my thing and I'm going to compete against everybody else and hopefully I win or I lose. That's the zero sum model. Or there's the other lane where you make good connections, you find good resources, you're sought out as a resource or an opportunity. I guess just through luck and good relationships, but I came into a very good business deal this week for a new rack system. And it was only because someone else in town said, you know what, Adam's a good dude. He's got this new facility. Maybe he needs it. Maybe he can help you out, kind of deal. And it came into a very favorable scenario. And I was very upfront. I told the guy, I said, this is very favorable in my direction. I just want to be sure that I'm being upfront and honest. And he said, well, to be honest, this thing's a burden to me. It's sitting in my kitchen. I need it gone. And I said, okay, well, as long as we both understand that this is it's good for both of us. And I feel good because he still likes snakes, and he and his daughter, like, that's their thing together. So part of the deal is that they're going to get some snakes and they're going to come hang out at the facility and just have a cool experience with it, kind of deal. Yeah. So, but none of that would have happened if I were just the solo guy with my dukes up going, it's me against the world.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Like every time I try and, not every time. Sometimes I half-ass it, which is a subject that I do want to talk about with you at some point, is because I don't see you half-assing anything ever. But Sometimes I go in, I'm tired, I half-ass it. But at every class that I do, I want to inspire somebody. I want, if another teacher were to walk into my classroom, I want them to walk out going, wow, he really did something in there. He really did something in there that I liked. I want that to happen when I produce the work that I do. I would like, and that's not, for some reason, that's kind of like a new thought to me. Like thinking about what I'm contributing to the industry and going, am I inspiring others to do the things that I think are great in this classroom? And I wonder if that's how people think in this industry. Is it like, I want everything that I do, I want to inspire somebody else to go, wow, they're really making a great snake or something.
I feel like that's like the elevated outlook, and it's almost like a stage of life, because whether it be in business or in life, you got to have your needs met. Like you got to have your electric bill paid. You got to have X calories per day. You got to have the roof over your head. Once you have that, then you could go looking for the stuff that you're talking about. Yeah. And so that means that you have looked beyond, okay, I have to do this because I'm pretty good at it. I could trade my time, my skills, and my expertise for some money. Now it's, okay, how do I inspire other people? And I felt in my career, I try to do this in snakes, but I'm not maybe quite there. But in my career, I would take on interns. If a competitor ever asked, hey, can I come check out your operation? As long as I believed that they wanted to learn rather than we're trying to sabotage or undermine it, they were always welcome. I would always welcome people in. I would always give tours. I would always let people pick my brain, come work a shift. And there's a really cool, and I don't know what the analogy in education or another industry is, but in restaurants, there's actually a really cool culture of, especially higher end restaurants, of this thing called a stage. It's spelled stage, but I guess it's French or something, but stage. And stage is where you go work in another restaurant and you don't get paid. It's basically a working short-term internship. And you might talk about a couple goals or what a certain experience that you want to have, or you might just volunteer. And the other person who you look up to as a mentor goes, well, okay, yeah, but you're going to go wash dishes for a week. And it's almost like the Karate Kid thing where you're like waxing on and waxing off, but you don't know why. And then at the end of it, you have this cool, like newfound knowledge or clarity kind of deal.
Yeah. I've seen that on The Bear.
Yeah, exactly. And I was fortunate enough, I always call it an internship, but essentially I did that in winemaking as well. I went out to Napa for a harvest one year for about 3 weeks, and I didn't get paid. I figured out how to make it work. I took leave of absence and vacation from my job. And at the time I was like, this is costing me a fortune. It didn't cost me anything. It was a great line on my resume. And it was just this amazing experience that I look back that it seems almost dreamlike. It doesn't seem like real now at this point. That was 2011. That was 14 years ago, man.
Wow.
So,
well, thanks for indulging my thoughts here, because it's something that's kind of been on my mind about, what we try to do, like what is the higher calling, and what we try to do even in the various worlds that we all live in. And I want to try to inspire people.
Go do it. Then again, at this point, like there's always more money to make, but I really think what's the best reference somebody could ever give another person? Wow, they really inspired me. I looked up to them.
Right.
Not I gave I gave them $12,000. What blah blah blah. No, they did a great job. They changed things. They affected how I look at things. They made memories. To go really back to way basics, there was a guy. I actually have a new consulting opportunity coming up, and it's actually in the world of social media. One of the local banks, the guy was talking to me, and he's like, okay. He's like, I don't understand all the ins and outs and this and that. And I said, you know what? let's keep it really simple. Happy people having a good time. How do you convey that? And I can't, it's not about banking, but he has another business that I just got to let be for a minute. But he was just like, oh, I was like, yeah, forget all the metrics, forget all the clicks, the views, the clickbait. How do you do this? The algorithm. How do you just convey happy people having a good time in your little microcosm of a world? And if you can do that, you're going to be successful with, and if you can do it authentically, you're going to really be successful on your social media endeavors, So, anyhow, we'll see how that comes out. Do you ever hear all these like business cliches? They drive me nuts, man. And I think maybe we might have like struck like a gold mine of like just picking apart business cliches. But do you ever hear this fortune favors the brave stuff like that? I hear it all the time, and there's absolutely a kernel of truth, and I think we should look at what that kernel of truth is. But I think we also have to say, like, it drives me nuts when people look at a difficult situation and they know it's difficult, and they know that they're up against it, and they know they're likely to fail, and they're just like, oh, well, fortune favors the brave. Let me go jump off this cliff. Like, no, you need a parachute, man. You need plans before you jump from the cliff.
That's your take on fortune favors the brave?
No.
Let me just say, what does it mean, really? What do people mean by fortune favors the brave? Do they go, oh, okay, those who are brave enough to do something, they're gonna win out?
I think that's
what it means.
I think it means, I think most people take it as like an easy solution to a very complex problem. Now, here's what I think that it should mean, or what it means to me. If you're brave enough to get started before the next person, you have a better chance of succeeding than that next person, because you're going to start to learn, you're going to start to figure things out, you're going to be invested in the thing. If I buy the car wash for lots of X's of dollars, I'm damn sure invested in making that car wash happen, right? Like you kind of have to see it through. You have a whole lot more incentive to see it through, rather than, and never mind, and let me overanalyze. Let me do the paralysis by analysis kind of thing.
Yeah.
And here I am. Let me pat myself on the back. I think that's the way to look at fortune favors the brave. Not, well, I just came into a whole bunch of money and I'm just going to go do it because fortune favors the brave. Like, it drives me bonkers.
So it's used. So you're saying that it's used as a way to go, I can do this, and that means I should do it. And if I'm a little trepidatious about it, doesn't matter. And the best part of it is that I'm going to do it, not necessarily I've planned it all out and I'm ready to go.
Well, I think people use that mindset as a substitute for thorough thought and consideration. I think a better, which is maddening because it's another oversimplification, but I think about this a lot. Analysis plus capital plus execution generally equals success. Like, if you study something and you have enough capital, I bet every person in the audience goes, yeah, if I had unlimited capital, I'd be wildly successful because I see it, I know it, I'm an expertise in some area, I know exactly how to make it happen. The problem is we don't have unlimited capital, or we don't have, I won't say I don't have the guts to walk into a bank and go, oh, I see clearly. I've got clarity on this thing. $250,000 and I'll be top of the heap. Like, it doesn't really work for me. And maybe that's where somebody's like, well, you're not being brave enough. Fortune's going to favor the brave. Yeah. Well, I don't need a $250,000 mortgage right now. That's not going to happen.
It seems like there's a step that is skipped. There's a step that's skipped. Like, there's an idea, and then it's should I do this or should I not? And then then to say fortune favors the brave is to skip the step of analyzing whether it's a good thing to do or a bad thing to do, right?
The going gets tough and scary. Just give myself a cliche pep talk and go crazy. Troy's point actually ties into this, though. We do hear that the first million is the hardest, and I think, like Troy is saying, I have yet to experience or fulfill that first million, but I do believe the second million is easier because you're going to know how you made the first one. You've got the benefits of compound interest and all of your assets that you've accumulated in that first million. And hopefully you still got a little time on this planet for all that to percolate and grow into really big results as well. So that I do think, and I think that that's where, like, just getting started, and the faster you can get started and be committed to something, the better off your outcomes are going to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. I love this that Charlie's putting out there too. I've lost my mouse here.
Here we go. I found it for you. There it is.
Winners actually lose more than losers lose. Oh, now,
yeah,
there's something there as well. There's something that could be misread there as well, though, too. Like, I'm just going to.
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah. Well, right. Yeah. Exactly. Like, I'm winning. I'm doing it. I'm such a winner because I'm losing.
Losing isn't that bad. I'm just going to continue to lose. But I mean, I think the truth of that, though, is not to be. Not to stop with your failures, that your failures are teach you something and you learn from them and you continue to try and do what you want to do. But I think also there could be a problem here that you're talking about, where it's like, where's the analysis? Like, yes, you can continue to lose. But you have to learn from that. You have to analyze your losses, and you have to do it better next time.
That's right.
And it needs to be more informed. And I think that's what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they could pile up. Like I think of, man, for some, not even by design, my career took this kind of trend of, I would take on these distressed businesses, basically. Like, I didn't buy them, but I would get hired by these distressed businesses. Hey, we hear that you're the guy that can fix our business. And like, it became sort of my niche, that every 5 or 6 years I would get poached by somebody who says, we have this amazing property, we have this amazing facility, and we can't get it done. And I would get hired. And great. Right. That's like almost like what do they say? Always in demand. I wouldn't say recession proof, but always in demand. If you can do that, well, you get to these properties and you realize why they can't get it going, because every property that's distressed has a reason that it's distressed, and you run into these failures that just keep punching you in the face, whether it be a bad facility or a bad infrastructure. Like, no wonder you can't run an operation. You put a soda fountain in the middle of the cook line. You got people banging into each other with knives and fire and hey, you billionaire, you bought a mountain in the middle of nowhere, and then you're surprised that there's no staff to run your place because nobody lives within an hour of here. And now, because you bought the mountain, nobody can afford to live within an hour of here that's going to wash dishes. And you think they're going to drive past 20 other places that they could work? Like, you start realizing, and I say all that because I would take these jobs, and then for like the first year and a half or 2 years, it was just failure, just getting pummeled and punched, and people questioning if you were the right person for the hire, and blah, blah, blah. But then you learn and you do figure it out, and you do get that key to, oh, here's a pipeline for staff, or, oh, hey, I've now explained to the board, we need to gut this place. And I'm sorry, but if you want to be the icon that you want to be, it's, we're going to need to do a $3-4 million renovation on your iconic restaurant. And So I say all that because, I failed so little along the way. But I remember, I think I've told this story too. Then it's a really quick one. There was a member at a club, and I liked it. Last name was Williams because there must be 99 Williams that I've worked with and interacted with. So nobody has to know who Mr. Williams is. I normally wouldn't have had this conversation with a member. We kind of keep a wall between, staff and membership. But I just asked him, I was like, what's your secret? What's your secret sauce? Like, what was your thing? And I was always looking for well, here's how you do, like a book worth of things off the cuff. And he's like, just don't lose big. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, just don't lose it all in one shot, man. As long as you don't lose it all, you can always figure it out. And that to me meant, hey, you're gonna fail a whole bunch. Just don't fail big. Like you can fail.
Don't lose big.
Yeah, he was just like, don't lose big, man. And I have thought about that. Would have been in 2013, 2014. That's 11 years that's been cooking in my head of just don't lose big. No,
and the only way
2009, that'd be 17 years of cooking in my head. Sorry, go ahead.
The only way to know whether or not you're going to lose big or lose small is to actually do the work to figure out, how much the loss is going to be. If those things happen. But you can also think, right. But you could think of how much you're going to stake. I would say, no, there's a way to figure it out before then of, am I willing to lose this? And would this be a big loss or not? And that's where, for me, that's where the cash flow model has always come from. If I have the money coming in, then I can afford to lose it. If I don't have the money coming in, I probably can't afford to lose it. Then it's a big loss versus a little loss. Yeah.
So
difficult though. It's so difficult. I mean, I think part of this conversation is about, we have these pithy statements that hold a certain truth in them, right?
Yeah.
That can be misconstrued or that may not seem realistic sometimes though, because you do have to pay the bills and you do have to, you do have to make sure that you're, that you have a house or that you have a roof over your head or that you can survive. But some people are in a position to risk all of that.
Or have the psychological makeup. Like, how many people have you met where you're just like, this guy flies by the seat of his pants and he's either way here or broke here. And I will not say it out loud, but there's somebody that I just couldn't do business with. I think we had some opportunities to work together and I was like, oh my gosh, your massive swings, I cannot ride out, man. And he's built for it. He's done it. He's continuing to do it. I won't say, I can't say any more details because I'll probably out the person, but I would just in my mind, I was like, I'm not ready for this guy's kind of crazy. And he does great. I mean, overall. But there's days where, I hear he and his wife, and they're just like, there's nothing. It's all gone. And then they're like pulling up at a show in a brand new, modern RV. I'm like, I thought it was all gone. That thing ran you $300,000. He's like, yeah, we got it figured out. You're like, what? Okay.
There was that actually makes me think of something else from this Scorsese documentary. They're interviewing the actors that worked with this director, and Robert De Niro is one of them. And so one of Scorsese's first movies is Mean Streets. Have you ever seen Mean Streets?
No, I think Taxi is the earliest one I've seen. I think Taxi Driver.
Yeah, De Niro plays this guy Johnny Boy, who is like a really reckless guy, and it's based off of somebody that Martin Scorsese knew in the neighborhood, and so they're talking to De Niro, and he goes, "Did you know that it was based off of this other person?" He's like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Well, and the person who's making the documentary says, well, we're trying to contact that person," and De Niro goes, he's still alive, because the character was one who was kind of really risky and like flying in the face of like the norms of what that neighborhood was doing.
Yeah.
Like always borrowing money and so like you don't want to end up that guy either, where people think, oh, that guy's still alive. It's amazing that he's still alive. Still alive because he's doing all crazy stuff all the time. You want to be the guy who can manage the risk a little bit better, take those measured risks and analyze what the risk is going to cost you.
You know, that is a universal truth that look, I think people know the story. I started washing dishes at Ruby Tuesday. Let's just say that there wasn't exactly a silver spoon in my mouth, so to speak. So I get to this world of private clubs where they're literally landing with helicopters and the billionaire owns the mountain and built a little, fiefdom there, or whatever you call it, fiefdom, whatever. And I remember hearing people at one of the tables I was waiting on talking about another member. And then I would ask like somebody who'd been there forever. And they're like, oh yeah, that guy's broke. And I'm like, you can't be broke living here. What are you talking about? And they're like, he has these wild swings. He goes, believe it or not, these millionaires and billionaires, they play banks to each other. He goes, that guy and that guy own that guy. And I'm like, why doesn't he just get a normal house and live a normal life? And they're like, he's addicted to the lifestyle. He has these massive swings. He'll have something come through. He'll pay off these other guys who'll make a whole bunch of money on him. And then they just wait for him to get himself in hot water again. And then they, rebuy his mortgage again at a higher rate with the what do they call it? The juice, with the interest. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like kids play in the neighborhood, but they're doing it
right. Yes.
With mansions and helicopters.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Right? Like I thought that didn't exist. Like when you get to a certain echelon of wealth. No, that's a universal truth. I've decided. Yeah. And that we described from that movie. Yeah.
Speaking of taking measured risks, we risked putting this on 2 years ago. Not a major risk.
That's true. We didn't have much to lose other than a small thimble of pride, right?
But we do have people who allow us to continue to do this every week. So we should probably talk about them.
Well, and I have to say it's fitting, it's apropos, because every one of them have had a failure of their camera adjusting on a cool moment that could have worked, and it didn't because I didn't know what I'm doing. I'm going to figure that out. I'm not going to get like personal, but I've had a chance to talk to these proprietors, these entrepreneurs, and it is hard. I've seen Cold Blooded Cafe go through changes in leadership, business models, and I've seen them endure. And that's that's not just a sales pitch. That's just a cool thing that I get inspired by. And that's somebody who goes, Desiree, she goes, well, I could be the world's best rat purveyor. Like, Joe, you were like, what do I need to do to have like this calling or this fulfillment? And she saw that lane and does it and sticks with it. And anyway, she has a great product is what the answer is. But that's Cold Blooded Cafe. I know it's cheesy. Joe gets a kick out of it, but they're the freshest, the cleanest. They smell great. They're nicely packed, very consistently packed, and I think that they're off and in a great lane these days. So check out Cold Blooded Cafe. Save yourself free shipping on orders over $200 with the promo code PROPER11. To our point today with Husbandry Pro, they innovate constantly. If I've talked to some tech people like in the industry, and they're like, Husbandry Pro, like there's almost like this thing of like they don't stay focused because they're always like trying to improve the next thing. And I'm like, when you said like a bazillion little failures, I don't think that they're failures, but they're little things that they're like, all right, that was okay, or it didn't work, but let's fix it right away. And one of the things I love with Husbandry Pro is service. You could put in a ticket, and if it doesn't work for you, or you have a cool idea for their software, boom, they'll put in like a service ticket to get like that feature added. And it's little things that might seem basic, but that you just literally can't think of everything. And their community input is really something I don't talk about much, but it's really, really cool aspect of what they do. Anyhow, for managing your collection, your breeding, your feeding, right now I have, I think, 60 female breeders this year that I'm going to pair. I can't keep all that in track up here. It's right here on the phone, little QR code. Bop, bop, bop. Try it for free, 60 days. P Royals 60. You don't even have to put in a credit card. Just download the app. Get started with that code. Last but not least is Keeper Kane. Hey, he just vended his first expo this past weekend.
Really nice.
Kane. Yeah. And I think it was very successful for him, but how many like little millions of little failures can you imagine on your very first expo? I forgot a pen. I didn't think about this. I thought that the tablecloth here would cover this. I did, figuring all that out.
And that's a big game changer when you start doing that, right?
Oh, the mentality. Yeah. That's one of those, like, I've made it moments, no matter like how much I take for granted vending now, like that first time you're like, you're like terrified and you're excited, you're like, I'm in it. I'm doing it. It's a turn in a page. So check out Keeper Kane on his YouTube channel here on YouTube, always family friendly. He's a breeder of ball pythons, but he's got some big snakes, aquatics, tarantulas. It's all documented on his YouTube channel. And I'm more than certain he'll have a video out about his very first vending experience as well too. So
very cool. Thanks for this morning, man. This was great. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, I had a fun time today, and it's helpful. I don't know if the audience realizes like it's gas in the tank doing this show. Because let me tell you, when I wake up at 5:50 on Thursdays, there's days where I'm just like, what am I doing? And it becomes gas in the tank. I'm motivated to go figure out like literally, I'm going to look around the facility today and go, what's not working that I need to do better that I could just check off the list. And of course, the irrigation is a big thing. That's a big example of this isn't working. It's failed me before. I'm going to fix this today. So, anyhow, I would say to people, what are you going to go fix today? Maybe that's what I'll ask the Patreon this morning.
Yeah. What are you going to fix today? That's a good way to start off the day. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks, audience. We'll do it same time, same place next week, right?
Yeah. We'll see you then, everybody.
Cool. Thanks, guys.